Hey guys, what's up? I'm Shannon. Welcome back to Wine, Tea, and Paper. Today I'm talking about the books that I plan on reading in April, or the books that I'm currently reading that I hope to finish in April. To start off, I am participating in ARCs Got Backed Up by the Bookish Ladies Club on Instagram. So the basic plan is to read your ARCs that you haven't been getting through and to hopefully get through a couple of them in April. So some ARCs that I want to read in April. I want to finish reading The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. This is a highly anticipated book, and I cannot believe that I am holding it in my hands early. This book isn't set to come out until June of 2021, and this is, let's just read this little like tagline here. It says, a spellbinding tale of psychological suspense, weaving together Greek mythology, murder, and obsession. So this is the best-selling author of The Silent Patient, and I really enjoyed that book. It's one of my most recommended books. When people ask me what thriller to read, I tell them to read The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. So I was so excited when Celadon Books gave me this to read, and I'm about halfway through right now, and I will be sharing my thoughts with you guys when I'm finished with this one. I am doing 2 book tours in the month of April for ARCs. The first one is for The Dead Season by Tessa Wegert. I just read her first book, which is A Death in the Family, and that one was a like closed island murder mystery, and this one is following the same investigator, Shayna Merchant. So this time she is, let's see what she's doing this time. So in this one, it looks like her uncle is murdered and she's trying to figure out what happened. And she also is finding out more about her tormentor that we learned in the first one. His name is Brom. And we're learning more about that, which is exciting because something that I didn't like in the first one was I didn't know much about this case that she was personally involved in, and she was kidnapped and captured and tortured, and now I think we're going to get some more details, which is very exciting. I'll be posting my review for this one later towards the end of April. I'm going to be reviewing and doing a tour for They Fly Silent by Barb Lanel. So let's tell you a little bit about this book because I really don't know what this book is about. I know it's a thriller and it's psychological, but let's see what this book is about. It looks like the main character has a family curse and about a tribe of the petal people. I'm not really sure what that is, but the main character, her name is Cassandra, and she finds herself in the tabloids and the local gossip column accused of starting strange, freakish fires, and along with cultish behavior unbefitting for the Bible Belt small town. And she has no memory of this incident, and she also has a gash on her palm in the shape of a 7. So I guess we're trying to figure out exactly what this curse is and why Cassandra can't remember these things happening to her, which sounds super awesome. So I'll be reviewing this book and doing my tour again at the end of April. Then I also want to read Instructions for Dancing, which is the newest book by Nicola Yoon. I don't know much about this book, and I actually don't want to read the synopsis because I want to go in pretty blind. I've loved both of the Nicola Yoon books that I've read so far, and I know that I'm going to enjoy this one as well. Then I'm going to be reading The Necklace by Matt Witten, and let's read a little bit about that one. The Necklace is a fast-paced thriller starring an unlikely heroine, Susan Latango, a small-town waitress fighting to prove that the man who's about to be executed for killing her daughter is actually innocent, and the real killer is still free. As the clock ticks down, she takes on the FBI in a heart-pounding crusade for justice. So this kind of sounds like the Maidens, because it's kind of the same thing. Like the main character is trying to be an investigator. So that sounds pretty good. And then the last ARC that I am putting on my TBR is No Gods, No Monsters by Caldwell Turnbull. I'm going to pull that up. Oh, it looks like this is the first book in a series called the Convergence Saga. This is a fantasy, adult, urban fantasy book, and it looks like it has some LGBTQ plus rep in it. Let's read the synopsis here because I don't know what this book is about. It says, one October morning, Lena gets the news that her brother was shot and killed by Boston cops. But what looks like a case of police brutality soon reveals something much stranger. Monsters are real. They want everyone to know it. As creatures from myth and legend come out of the shadows, seeking safety through visibility, their emergence sets off a chain of seemingly unrelated events. Members of a local werewolf pack are threatened into silence. A professor follows a missing friend's trail of breadcrumbs to a mysterious secret society. So what luck that the ones that I picked are all kind of similar. So that's exciting. I knew this was about monsters, but I didn't know a secret society was involved. So that is like one of my key words right there, like secret society or cults, all about it. And then there are 3 books that I'm currently reading that I want to continue to read. One of those being Carrie by Stephen King. This is going to be my first Stephen King reading vlog. I am reading Stephen King books in a specific order to help me better understand the Dark Tower series, and this is the first book on that list. And then I am only a little bit into The House of Leaves by Mark Danielewski. So this was supposed to be a buddy read for March, and I can't get through this book. So normally I can read about like 40 to 50 pages in an hour, and with this book, I read about 18 pages an hour. It is so slow because like it's just a strange book. That's not even a good page. This is like, what? Like some things, like there's instructions for like things that you have to do. You have to like reference other chapters in this book. You have to look in a mirror and read it backwards. You have to circle letters and make your own sentence. Like it's intense, and it's supposed to be scary. But the only scary part so far is reading the book. But I want to finish it. And then my current audiobook is How Beautiful We Were by Imbolo Mbue. And I'm currently reading that one. It's pretty fascinating. It's about like a small village, and it's being used for oil production. And the oil is actually leaking into the water and the farms of this small village, and the children are getting sick and dying. And I'm coming up on the end of this book, but I'm not sure if I'm going to finish it before March is over, but I do hope to finish this book soon. It's a Libro FM book, and I'm very excited and happy that Libro FM has gifted me with this book to read and review early. So something that I'm going to start doing in my TBR videos is pulling from my TBR jar. I know this has a spigot on it, just leave it be. So right now in this jar I only have YA books, which are the pink slips, and then adult books, which are the orange slips. I hope to eventually put my audiobooks in here and my ebooks in here on different slips of paper, but for now I just have my physical TBR in here. These are books that I have on my shelves that I haven't actually read yet. And if I have a series, I only put the next book that I have to read in the series. So let's say I already read book 1 and I have to read book 2 next. Only book 2 is in here. Book like 3 and 4 isn't in here, because it wouldn't make sense for me to pick book 4 before book 2. So every month I'm going to pull one of these. And eventually when I have the audiobooks and the ebooks in here, I'll pull one of each, and those will be on my TBR. And if I read the books that I pull out of my TBR jar, I get to buy new books. So yeah, this is basically my way of saying that I'm going on a book buying ban starting April 1st. That does not count for book boxes that I've already purchased, pre-orders that I've already bought and are coming in, or my book of the month box that I get every month automatically. So it doesn't count for those books. So I will still have small hauls every month, but for the most part, unless I read the books that I pull out of my TBR jar, I will not be buying more books. So let's go ahead and pick one out of here. I'm kind of scared, actually. I mean, for the most part, I want to read these books. This is a good way for me to figure out if I can unhaul these books or keep them on my shelves. So we're pulling an adult book. Oh my god, you have to be kidding me. It's A Storm of Swords. That's the third book in the A Song of Ice and Fire series. When I was putting them in here, and I wrote this on this slip of paper and I put it on here, and I was like, watch me get this book because it's huge. And I read book 1 and 2 years ago. And I was like, if I pick this one, I'm gonna have to recap on book 1 and 2. Well, looks like we're adding A Storm of Swords to my TBR. There's, oh my god, this is terrible. There's 1,128 pages in here. Well, there goes my April. I'm going to spend all April reading that book. Okay, so that is, I'm going to put this slip in the book. That is my April TBR jar pick. If I don't read this book, I can't buy a new book. So, I guess I'm not buying a new book for the next video. So those are just some of the books that I plan on reading in April. I know I'm going to read more than that in April, but if you guys have followed me before, you know that when I make a TBR, I never stick to it. So I'm going to stick to the books that I absolutely know that I have to read in April for different commitments, and that's those books. So we'll see what happens in April. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you're reading in April down below. And if you made your own April TBR video, link that below too, because we can all watch each other's TBR videos and that would be so fun. So keep reading, and I'll see you guys in the next one.